Hello everyone, and welcome to another royal reading here at MadWorldTarot. This is another reading done on the infamous Saturday morning before we go away for a week or so, and it is Harry and Meghan children kind of a vibe that I've tapped into. So I'm doing all the readings that I've stockpiled over the past while that are related to Harry and Meghan's children, Archie and Lilibet. And the last little tranche of readings that I'm going to be doing today, and that hopefully you will be able to access on Monday while I am away. This last little bit is based on comments that the living Nostradamus gave to the Daily Mail. He's a self-appointed living Nostradamus, Athos Salome. We've looked at him before here on this channel, a young Brazilian psychic, and sort of doom and gloom headlines warning that he's given to the Pentacles over their children's futures, but not really. So we're going to look at what he had to say, and we're going to unpick it a little bit with the help of the Gilded Tarot. I'm going to look at Archie first on this reading, and then exactly the same questions for Lilibet in the next reading. What he said about Archie was that he would be a dual figure, permanently divided between two worlds that will never be reconciled. So his California life and his royal life, a soul in crisis. So yeah, that's a bit of a doom and gloom thing, questioning his identity and his place in the world. He goes on to say that Archie will basically reject celebrity and live a very private life. He'll get involved in green stuff, environmental stuff maybe, or medicine, alternative medicine, that kind of stuff. He said he would sever ties with Archie, well, ultimately not have much to do with the royals. He would never officially return to the firm as such, but he would eventually have some sort of relationship with the royals as a result of something tragic that happened in the royals, a significant family loss as he described it, but this decades ahead, so not like next year, 20 years time, more that kind of thing. He talks about Archie's potential life partner. She would be a discreet woman outside of that celebrity or political kind of world that the Pentacles currently inhabit, and someone who values silence, not noise. A woman linked to health, education, or Eastern philosophy. So I think we've got some things to look into here, and I'm going to explain. I'm going to look at Archie as a man. What kind of a man will he be, and what kind of career path might he pursue? We're going to ask the same thing for his partner, wife, girlfriend, whoever she turns out to be, and what kind of a woman she will be, what her life path will be, career, that sort of thing. Relationship with his parents, with Harry and Meghan. This living Nostradamus didn't go into that, but I'm going to go into that. Relationship with Harry and Meghan. Relationship with the royal family, role potentially in the royal family, if at all. And then how he'll be perceived by the public. Will he be perceived as a sad, lonely, lost figure, as a powerful figure, as a global figure, or somebody that the public just really doesn't think about much at all, if ever? That kind of a question we're going to ask. It's interesting that he tapped into that rather sad, alienated energy that a lot of people tap into when they read on Archie, or they look at body language around Archie, or just generally a kind of comment about what's going on in his environment, his world, even as a child and from quite early on. So he's certainly tapped into that, whether he's just, extrapolating from the things we've all noticed or what, I don't know. But this is what's coming through, and this is what we're going to test here with the tarot. And we are, of course, needing to remember that this is just tarot for fun and entertainment, my opinion or speculation, just reading energy, and disclaimer in the box below. We have a Knight of Swords, and it's in reverse as the underlying energy, the sort of situation that underpins everything else that we're going to read on now when it's to do with Archie and his life. And the Knight of Swords is a very strategic card. It's very intelligent. It's living on your wits, really. It's being quite active in causes and campaigns and that kind of thing. It's in reverse. That tells me that he's not going to get involved in direct causes. He might work grassroots level. That's the word that I'm searching for. Grassroots level, but not as a public campaigner. He's not going to be like a figurehead for something. He's not going to be a Greta Thunberg, put it that way, and go and save the penguins and not Chunga Chunga. I can't remember. Remember that that fake call that Harry fell for from Greta. So I'm being a bit snarky. I need to lighten the energy. Archie's energy is always dense for me as an energy reader. So he's not going to be figurehead. He's not going to be leading campaigns. He's not going to be that kind of person, a spokesman or anything like that. Grassroots, that's the energy that's coming through there. It's not terrible energy, but it doesn't gladden my heart when I see the Knight of Swords in reverse as somebody's underlying energy. Put it that way, and I have nothing against this poor child, and I hope in the best as he grows and matures and turns into hopefully a wonderful human being. This card over here I want as a signifier for him, basically. What do we have? We have the Four of Pentacles. That's interesting because it can give grassroots energy. It's traditionally in tarot a bit unfortunate because it's the miser card. It's somebody that's very invested in their coin and their status and their stability, their financial security. It's not reading that negatively for me now. It would if I was reading on Harriet or Meghan, shall we say. But for him, it's coming through as somebody who's born into privilege. Was that Four of Pentacles. He's well provided for in his life. He doesn't have to go out and work hard and, pay the bills and struggle. It's not coming across as that. It is coming across as somebody that might get involved in environmental things. The way he's looking, he might live in foreign places. He might go out and work actively in other countries, other continents, do that kind of thing. But because he can afford to, because he's not quite Nepo baby, but he's there in that zone, it's not giving me careful with this word, crusading kind of energy. I don't mean it in that way, that controversial way, but I'm not getting like he's very busy doing stuff. I'm trying to steer my mind away from Brooklyn Beckham, put it that way. I'm trying to steer it into more charitable energy. And let's see, that's just, I asked a signifier there, and that's what I got, the Four of Pentacles. So, him as a man, what kind of man is he going to grow into? And I've got the Five of Swords, and it's in reverse. This is somebody who's been scarred by conflict. He doesn't like conflict. He's going to avoid it. So, again, I'm getting the idea that he's not going to sign up to save the world. And I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. I just mean that he doesn't want confrontation. He doesn't want people to challenge him. He doesn't want to have to challenge people. He's not going to be a lawyer. He's not going to be a politician. He's not going to be a doctor. He's not going to go into those kinds of worlds. He might not even want to do anything vaguely intellectual. Swords are your intellect, your mind. It's giving the energy that this living Nostradamus said about somebody who's divided. The Five of Swords is a classic divided card because it's divided against yourself. It can represent internal conflict as well as external conflict. So this is somebody who's going to have struggles, and I might even say he's going to have mental health struggles. Well done, Harry and Meghan. Round of applause for you and your parenting. Blood boiling. Okay, let's move on from there. What's he going to do? Life path, career, causes, projects. What's he going to do? I've got the Nine of Pentacles in reverse. No, dear, I'm just getting huge Brooklyn Beckham energy now with this, because the Nine of Pentacles is a usually female energy of somebody who's very wealthy, very self-made kind of person, very independent, don't have to worry about stuff, live the good life. It's in reverse. It's telling me that he might rely on a partner to provide that kind of stability, focus, motivation. The partner in the relationship might be the one that's more driven to succeed, might come from great wealth, even if they live quite a private life. And I'm seeing kind of a private life in these cards. I'm not seeing public figures. I'm not seeing people chasing celebrity, any of that kind of stuff. But it does look as if he's going to be quite a troubled soul, unfortunately. I'm reading energy. I'm speculating, of course, who might play second fiddle to a more accomplished or more enterprising wife, girlfriend, whatever. We're assuming she's female. This guy made the assumption that she was going to be female. I don't know why I said that, but anyway, there it is. Not casting aspersions or not trying to be controversial. Let's look at the partner in this relationship, kind of person that she might be. And we have got the Six of Pentacles, and it's in reverse. Again, the Pentacles are showing up big time in this reading. The Six of Pentacles is the charity and service card. And this guy did say that she would be linked to health, education, or Eastern philosophy. It's a charity card. She might work in the charitable sector. I'm not getting somebody who's going to be doing baby checks in some third world moms and tots clinic kind of thing. I'm not getting that. Let's put it like that. I'm getting that she might be involved in running some kind of charitable foundation, and he's very likely to meet that kind of person given the context, given his parents in his life and who he is. That's what's coming through for me. It's this more of an organizer, a trustee, that kind of person. Because the card is in reverse, I'm not reading that negatively. I'm getting that this Nostradamus fellow might be right, someone who values silence rather than noise. She might be quite behind the scenes with this kind of work. Doing good, doing humanitarian work, but not leading it, not being the front of it. So that's how that's reading. And what is she going to be doing? That's the kind of person that she is, right? What is she going to be doing? Got the Page of Wands, and it's also in reverse, getting all these cards in reverse, which for me is meaning that these are not movers and shakers in the world. These are people who more like the quiet life, want to be behind the scenes. Page of Wands upright is enterprising, adventurous, out there, maybe a journalist, maybe something like that, but it's in reverse. She might be involved in some kind of PR or marketing or something like that for some sort of cause. But again, you're not going to see her directly or hear directly from her. It's going to be much more behind the scenes. And I've found myself drifting back to my notes, Eastern philosophy. It could even be that kind of messaging, that she's involved with something that's from somewhere else, from another culture. She could be Asian or something like that, that she's got that kind of background, and that she's involved in something that is tapped into that kind of culture. So that it kind of vague what's coming through for her. Even strangely, I'm getting something like maybe Japanese. Don't know where that's coming from. Just saying, for future reference, one day in 20 years' time or 30 years' time, it will be interesting to look back at these, assuming we are all here and still looking back at things, and or hopefully also looking forward a little bit too. So let's look at Ma and Pa. We're going to look at Pa first, relationship with Pa. What's going on there? Oh dear, we have the Chariot in reverse. Not good, not good. Blockage. not really seeing eye to eye about things. The Chariot is very driven, very focused, very determined, pushing forward with things, riding roughshod over people. I'm getting backing off energy. I'm getting not wanting to be involved. What did this guy say? The living Nostradamus, distancing himself from Archie. Well, there it is. Chariot in reverse. Don't want to be involved in your projects, your causes, your crusades, your issues. I'm not ambitious like you. I'm not bitter like you. I'm not still resentful of Uncle William, who's shown up as Chariot energy. Of course, the Cancerian. I don't want anything to do with that. I'm getting very little to do with even living at some distance apart. I'm still getting Archie living somewhere foreign, oddly enough. So let's have a look at Mama. How's things going there with Mama? And I've got the Empress, dominant kind of a figure with Mama. I'm just getting intimidated. It's interesting, we've got major arcana, maybe not too much to do with Pa there, and Mother looming large in his life. It's not negative. It's hard to read the Empress upright as a negative card, but I am getting that she's quite dominant or domineering even in his life. And it is quite a strange energy that's coming through. Okay, tread carefully here. I'm going to have to tread carefully with this, but I'm getting a strange kind of mental flash. I won't say psychic flash because I'm not claiming to be the living Nostradamus here. I read tarot cards. But I'm guessing that Mama might be more in spirit than in the flesh. Just saying. That's how it's coming through, rather strangely for me. I'm flashing back to reading that I did earlier this morning about Archie possibly being the spare. And you will have seen that already, hopefully. And that there isn't much of a connection between them that I'm getting as life unfolds. So I'm interested to see this card of the Empress and this mother figure being so dominant and so all-encompassing, but not necessarily that tangible. So let's move on from there, because I'm finding this energy quite uncomfortable to be in. Bit like, let's say, Harry and his mother, just to finish that little story there. Royals, relationship with the royal family. How's that going to be? If at all. And we've got the Death card, and it's in reverse. Death card is stagnant kind of energy. It's unchanging when something needs to change, when someone needs to be more flexible, when they need to let go of something. It doesn't bode well. It doesn't tell me that they're going to all get on happily ever after. Not with that kind of energy. Interesting again that this living Nostradamus said that he would never officially return to the firm, but he would perhaps reconcile with him eventually in the 2040s due to some sort of significant family loss. I don't know. And there we have the literal, that card showing up in the reading. In cards in reverse can mean haven't activated yet, future, that this is what's coming down the line. And of course there's going to be that energy. For us mere mortals happens, for the royals it happens very publicly. I'm not getting close connection, but I am getting possibly that there will be some sort of event that he shows up at. Again, strange energy, and it might be quite awkward and uncomfortable, but again, the sense of family united at that moment by some kind of loss. It's there in the energy. Let's chuck an allegedly onto this reading and leave it there flashing away. How about actual role with the royals? Anything like sent off on missions, do this, do that? It's not looking likely, but it might show up. It's not looking likely, and it isn't likely. Three of Cups in reverse. There just isn't that closeness. There's no connection with him. The Three of Cups is hanging out. It's your friends, your cousins. It's celebrating events together, going to the races, piling onto the balcony at Buckingham Palace, that kind of energy. It's in reverse. Nip. There's nothing. He's not going to be at those events. He's not going to be at Troop in the Colour. He's not going to be seen. He's going to show up at this one weird event at some stage. Seems like our friend Assos has got some insights. Well, certainly the cards are backing up what he had to say. That's interesting. It's interesting for me as a tarot reader. You know, I didn't sit and go through the tarot deck and find these cards. They came and found me, and therefore you, through just pure energy and timing of the time that energy activates. So let's look at his role in terms of the public, or how the public perceive him. Is he going to be a public figure? What are they going to think of him? What's their connection going to be with him, if any? Maybe nothing. Got the Five of Wands, and it's again in reverse. This is somebody who's just opted out, somebody who's not engaged, somebody who doesn't want to be a leader, a fighter, a struggle, somebody who's troubled by conflict. We've already had it with the Five of Swords in reverse. This is somebody, they're going to look at him and he's going to be the archetypal casualty of this family conflict. The family conflict that we're witnessing now, we're reading on now, we're all kind of obsessed with now. He's the casualty of it. That's how they're going to see him. That he's never able to find a place in the royal family. He's this awkward misfit. That's how it's reading for me. And I'm sad to say that. This is not terrible. It does look like he's going to find his soulmate and they're going to live a quiet life doing whatever they do, which is a bit mysterious, and obviously because the energy hasn't really activated either, but very private, very behind the scenes, a little bit troubled. For me, that's the energy that's coming through. And that's this reading, and Lilibet next.